The stars outside were quiet, inside the cold metal walls of the alien ship. The air was heavy, silent. A dozen creatures moved around a glowing table, their skin pale and wet, their fingers long and sharp like knives. These were the Jaretha race feared across 10 galaxies. They believed they had learned everything about life, everything about death. But today, they had something new. A human commander, Ryan Cole, lay naked and still under a bright white light. His chest moved slowly. He was alive, but barely. His skin was cut, burned, and marked with strange symbols. The Zoreth didn't speak his language. They didn't care. They thought he was just an animal. One of the alien doctors leaned close. His black eyes scanned Ryan's face. He clicked his tongue and spoke in his own language, full of hisses and clicks. Weak creature, no armor. Number. Claws, no threat. Another Jareth replied. Then why did he smile? When we captured him? They paused. Ryan had smiled. Even when they pulled the knife across his chest. Even when they tore open his ribs. Why? The lead scientist walked forward. His name was Zar Cole, and he had dissected over 4,000 lifeforms. But this one, this man, felt different. He picked up a silver tool. It shimmered with energy. As he brought it near Ryan's brain, Ryan's eyes suddenly opened. Black. Not blue, not green. Pure black. Zar. Cole froze. The other doctors stepped back. Ryan did not scream. He did not move. He simply looked at Zar. Cole. And then he smiled. You shouldn't have opened me, Ryan said softly. His voice was deep. Not like before. It echoed around the room, touching every wall like a whisper from a forgotten grave. Zar. Cole dropped his tool. What is this? The lights flickered. Alarms rang for a second and died. One of the screens showed red static. The metal walls began to pulse like a slow heartbeat. Thump. Double quote seal the room. A doctor shouted. Too late. Ryan sat up. No restraints held him. They were melted. His chest was still open, yet no blood came out. Instead, a black mist poured from the wound, swirling in the air like smoke alive. The black mist touched one alien's face. He screamed and melted. The others ran. Ryan stood. He was tall, lean, but his shadow stretched across the walls like it was something else. Something bigger. He walked forward, naked, covered in cuts, heart exposed. Yet he didn't fall, didn't stumble. With each step, the floor cracked slightly beneath him. He walked past Zar Cole. The scientist tried to raise a weapon, but his hand wouldn't move. Do you know what you've done? Ryan asked. Zar. Cole trembled. What are you? Ryan looked up at the ceiling. His black eyes glowed. I was asleep. Now I'm awake. The room lights burst, glass falling like rain. The emergency red lights switched on. Everything turned bloody red. From the hallway, security bots rolled in. Their weapons pointed at Ryan. He stopped, looked at them, and smiled again. I remember what I am now. The bots opened fire. Nothing happened. Bullets slowed in midair, floating like dust. Then they turned and flew back. Every bot shattered. The hallway darkened. Ryan walked alone. He passed a mirror. In it, he saw something behind his own reflection shapes, eyes, darkness. Something inside him looked back. He didn't blink. He accepted it. Elsewhere on the ship, Captain Drenthal watched the lab footage with shaking hands. He had seen many wars, burned planets, even black holes eating cities. But he had never seen anything like this. Ryan Cole, the human prisoner, was now something else. He walked through doors that didn't open. Machines failed around him. AI systems went silent. Evacuate the lab section, Drenthal said. Sir, he's already outside the lab, his officer replied. He's in the power core corridor. Drenthal's skin turned pale. Seal every gate. Jettison that wing. Sir, he's not walking, Drenthal blinked. What? He's floating. Power core, Sector 12. The core of the ship was a glowing blue sphere, pulsing with the energy of a star. Ryan floated toward it, arms spread. His wounds closed on their own. His skin glowed with a soft dark light. The black mist wrapped around. The core, it didn't burn it. It touched it. The power changed color. Blue turned purple, then red. Ryan spoke to no one, but the ship heard. Do you remember me? We were one once. Long ago. Now we become again. The ship trembled. A voice filled the halls, not from speakers, but from the walls themselves. Host accepted. Returning to unity. In the control room, Drenthal fell to his knees. This was not a man. This was a prison. Flashback. Earth to 9 years earlier. A room deep under Earth's surface. Military officers and scientists stand around a sealed chamber. Inside floats Ryan Cole. Wires enter his body. Machines beep. Is he stable? A general asks. A scientist nods. Yes, the entity is sleeping, but if Ryan dies, it will awaken. And if he lives? We keep it locked, inside him, forever. Present. Alien ship. Ryan opened his hands. The ship responded. Walls twisted. Doors bent. Jareth soldiers fired at him. They were gone before their bullets left the guns. Ryan turned toward the bridge. You tore open the wrong man. Bridge, final moments. Harkole ran to the captain's side. He's not human anymore. Captain Drenthal shook his head. No, he never was. The door to the bridge opened on its own. Ryan walked in. Everyone. Aimed weapons. No one fired. He raised one finger. All screens on the ship lit up, showing Earth. Then a voice came from the ship itself. Connection complete. Memory restored. Protocol. Genesis. Ryan looked at them, eyes glowing. Now. We begin again. The alien ship drifted in space like a wounded animal. No one answered its distress call. No one dared come near. The Jareth ship had become quiet. Too quiet. Not the silence of peace, but the silence of fear. Inside, shadows moved without light. The walls no longer obeyed their masters. And the man they had once called Specimen had vanished from all scanners. But he was still here. Somewhere. Watching. Medical bay. Hours after the awakening, two Jareth doctors stood near a blackened wall. The lab where they had dissected the human was gone, burned, and twisted beyond repair. Even the metal was melted. They didn't speak. They couldn't. Their minds were broken. One doctor held a recorder in his hand. He whispered into it, trembling. This is Dr. Shovar. Subject Human 1 has changed. His body is still human, but his presence no longer feels alive. It feels ancient, like a god sleeping inside a corpse. He looked up at the security camera. Its lens had been painted black from the inside. The other doctor spoke suddenly. Do you hear that? Hear what? The breathing. Dr. Shovar turned. There was no one else in the room. But then the air grew cold. Something moved in the corner, something dark. A figure stood just behind the broken surgical table. It was Ryan, but his eyes were no longer just black. They were deep, endless, like two holes in the universe. Dr. Shovar opened his mouth to scream, but Ryan raised one finger. The doctor froze. His body went stiff. His blood turned to smoke. His scream never came out. The second doctor dropped to his knees and whispered, "Forgive us." Ryan tilted his head. Forgiveness is not part of me. Bridge, control room. Captain Drenthal watched the footage. Again, then again, and again. Each time Ryan appeared from nothing. The cameras never saw him enter. He was just there. The science team was silent. They had no explanation. One younger officer finally spoke. Captain, this is not a human. It's a carrier. Something was inside him all along. Another added, maybe not inside. Maybe he's the shell. Drenthal stood up. Then we destroy the shell. No, someone whispered. "He wants us to try." The captain paused. "What do you mean?" The officer pointed to the screen dot in one freeze frame. Ryan was looking directly at the camera. Not just looking, smiling. As if he knew they were watching. As if he had been waiting. Engine room. Sector 9, a repair team was sent to restore power to the engines. They were 6 in total. Strong, armored, trained. They never made it back. The hallway leading to Sector 9 was now black, not dark black. No lights worked. Not even personal torches. One by one, they vanished into the shadows. The last message sent from the team leader was audio only. "We see him standing in the dark, not moving. But we feel something behind him. Many things. Eyes, hands, voices. It's not one being. It's a crowd hiding in one body." Then silence. Jareth High Command remote broadcast, far away from the infected ship. A council of Jareth leaders gathered. A hologram of the ship hovered above them. "What is this, human?" One asked. "Not human," said another. "It is a gate. We opened it." They argued. Some wanted to destroy the ship. Others feared it would escape before they could. One voice, deep and calm, stopped them all. "He is remembering." All heads turned. It was the elder, oldest of the Jareth. "What is he remembering?" they asked. The elder closed his eyes. "The war we lost long ago, the one we buried and forgot. He is not a prisoner. He is the last weapon." Back on the ship, observation deck, Ryan stood at the wide glass window, staring at the stars. He didn't need food, or water, or sleep. The mist around his body moved like it was alive. It whispered. It changed shapes, sometimes wings, sometimes faces, sometimes machines. He raised his hand. In space, nearby satellites exploded. Without being touched. He turned slowly as if feeling something. In the corner of the room, hidden behind a wall, was a single Jareth child. A young one. Not a soldier. Terrified. Crying. Ryan walked closer. The child backed away. Ryan knelt. "Don't fear me. I'm not here for you." The child looked up. "Why are you here?" Ryan's smile faded. "To finish what your kind started." Flashback. Earth, 500 years ago, a battlefield in space. Ships burning. Planets cracked, screams. The Jareth were losing. A last human ship, carrying one final experiment, vanished into hyperspace. It carried Ryan Cole. But he was already dying back then. Scientists had sealed something ancient inside him. A consciousness from a time before time. A being that had no body until Earth gave it one. They had hoped to use it if Earth ever needed revenge. Present. Alien ship. Core chamber. Ryan returned to the power core. The walls bent as he walked. This time he was not alone. 3 Jareth officers waited with energy weapons. They aimed without fear. "Stop," one shouted. "We will destroy the core." Ryan looked at them calmly. "Do it." The officer hesitated. Ryan stepped forward. "You think you have control, but you lost it the moment you touched me." One officer fired. The blast hit Ryan in the chest. Nothing. Not even a burn. Ryan sighed. "You still don't understand. I am not what comes after death. I am what comes before life." The weapons turned red hot. The officers dropped them. Screaming, Ryan walked past them as if they didn't exist. He touched the core again. This time, it screamed. Meanwhile, across the galaxy's half ship started failing. Systems crashed. Navigation maps showed stars that didn't exist. Entire fleets turned back. Some were lost forever. A strange signal spread, one that no AI could trace. One simple message repeated in every Jareth system. "You opened the gate." Back on the ship, final scene of Part 2. Ryan stood in the command bridge now, alone. All the crew had either run or joined the shadows. He looked at the captain's chair and sat. The black mist spread to every screen. The ship was his now. This is only the beginning. He looked straight into the ship's recording device one final time. Send the message to Earth. The ship obeyed. The alien ship was no longer a ship. It had become something else. Something alive. The walls pulsed slowly, like a giant heart. Shadows moved across corridors that had no lights. The air felt thicker, heavier, as if it could think. And at the center of it all was him, Ryan Cole. But Ryan was no longer human. Not fully. Bridge. Control center. Ryan sat in the captain's chair. His eyes, now fully black, glowed softly. He was calm, cold, focused. The command screens flickered with strange shapes. Unknown languages ran across them, languages not from Earth, not from Jareth, but from before both civilizations even existed. Symbols of a forgotten race. The ship's voice, once robotic and cold, now sounded alive, soft, whispering. Like it was speaking only to him. Connection stable. Core reformed. Host adaptation. 63% complete. Ryan's skin shifted. His veins glowed dark purple for a second, then returned to normal. His heartbeat was gone. He no longer needed it. Elsewhere on the ship, hiding crew, a small group of surviving Jareth officers had locked themselves inside an old weapons room. They watched footage on a small portable screen. Ryan was rewriting. The ship, he didn't touch any controls, but the ship obeyed him. Doors opened for him. Lights bowed to him. Gravity shifted when he walked. What is he? One soldier whispered. Another replied. Not a man, not a god. Something in between. Medical bay. Autopsy of one of Ryan's victims. Dr. Zev Volume, one of the oldest scientists, stood over a body. A Jareth soldier who had touched Ryan's black mist. The body was frozen in place, eyes wide, skin dark, limbs twisted like metal wire, but he wasn't dead. Not really. The heart still beat, slowly, once every 5 minutes. Dr. Zev placed a scanner over the chest. Inside, something moved. Not the heart, not blood. Something else. Something growing. Ryan's transformation. Power core room. Ryan returned to the power core. His body began to shift as he stood close to the glowing sphere. His bones cracked softly, but he didn't react. His muscles stretched, then relaxed. The skin on his arms split open, revealing glowing black threads underneath. Host adaptation, 72%, the ship said. Ryan closed his eyes. He remembered things he had never lived. Battles in the stars. Ancient cities made of crystal. A war that burned half the universe. He wasn't just changing, he was remembering. Flashback. The voice inside Ryan's mind. There was another voice. Deep, calm, powerful. We were forgotten, buried, caged. Your world set me free. Ryan replied without speaking, his thoughts becoming words. Why me? Because you were empty, full of pain, full of loss. A perfect shell. Ryan saw flashes, his Earth mission destroyed. His team dead, his body barely alive. The Earth. Government injecting him with the ancient code without telling him what it really was. They had lied. He was never meant to return home. Meanwhile, Earth Command Center in a hidden base under Antarctica. Alarms started blinking. The signal had come, Ryan's message. A single image showed up on the main screen, Ryan's face. And behind him, stars burning. A general stepped forward. He's alive. The scientist beside him looked pale. No, he's awake. Then we activate Protocol Omega. Back on the ship, hallway scene. Ryan walked through a corridor. The walls rippled where he stepped. Metal bent away from him. One brave Jareth soldier stepped out from hiding and aimed a weapon. Stay back. Ryan didn't stop. I said stay. BACK. The soldier fired. The blast hit Ryan's chest and disappeared. Ryan walked closer. You fear what you don't understand. You're not human. Neither are you. Ryan touched the soldier's helmet. It turned to dust. The soldier screamed and vanished into the wall. Absorb. Control room. Jareth survivors try to escape. Last group of Jareth crew managed to reach the emergency pods. They rushed to the controls. Open the hatch. I'm trying, it won't respond. Suddenly, the room went dark. A red glow filled the space. Ryan's voice came through the ship's speaker, calm and cold. Where will you go? One Jareth screamed. We surrender. It's not about war, Ryan said. It's about change. The floor cracked open. The crew fell through, vanished into the ship. Transformation complete. Back at the core, Ryan stood before the ship's heart again. Host adaptation 100% complete, the ship said. Ryan's body lifted into the air. His spine extended. His arms shimmered with dark energy. Wings black and misty opened behind him. They weren't real wings. They were concepts, ideas of what fear looks like. Ryan was no longer Ryan. He was something new. Something built for one purpose. Evolution. Final scene. A message to the galaxy from the ship's antenna. A signal spread across space. It was not in words, but every being that heard it understood. The gate is open. The old ones return. The new shell is ready. Ships in nearby systems shut down. Planets went silent. A wave of fear swept across galaxies. In distant places, ancient beings woke up, things that had been sleeping for millions of years. They smiled. The Jareth ship no longer looked like a vessel. It floated in space like a ghost, a dead machine wrapped in black mist. Its lights were red. Its engines were silent, but it was alive, and it was watching. In deep space, a patrol ship approaches. Captain Nelra of the Jareth Navy watched the strange ship on her screen. It was supposed to be a science vessel, but its signal was wrong. The ID codes were distorted. The energy readings were impossible. Anything alive on board? She asked. Her sensor officer shook his head. We can't tell. Our scanners are failing. Failing? The officer nodded slowly, as if something is looking back at us through them. Nelray gave the order. Send a drone. The drone flew toward the ship. Seconds later, it vanished. Not exploded. Not shot. Just gone. As if the space around the ship ate it. The crew stared at the screen. The stars around the strange ship flickered. And then the signal came. A message. From inside the ghost ship. It was a voice. Calm. Male. I see you. The screen turned black. Jareth homeworld. Emergency council meeting leaders from across the empire gathered in a dark chamber. Holograms of burning planets and disappearing fleets surrounded them. One said, "What are we facing?" Another whispered, "It started with one human. Now whole systems are going dark." An old war commander stepped forward. "This is no longer a science problem. This is extinction." They argued. One group wanted to nuke the ship. Another said they should run. But the elder, the same one from before, stood and raised his hand. "It's too late. The fear is already here. And fear spreads faster than fire." On the infected ship, Ryan walks the corridors. Ryan walked alone. His eyes were darker now. His skin no longer looked human. Strange shapes moved just under it, like shifting shadows trapped beneath flesh. Where he walked, the walls listened. They moved for him. The ship obeyed his thoughts. But he was not alone anymore. Others were changing. Some Jareth crew, those who had touched the black mist but survived, were no longer fully Jareth. Their eyes had turned glassy. Their skin had dark patterns, like black veins growing under it. They followed him. Silent. Loyal, not controlled, but connected. Flashback. Earth scientists. Years ago in a secret underground lab, Earth's best minds studied the dark code they had found in an asteroid. They called it the deep memory. It wasn't just data. It was alive. They couldn't understand it. So they locked it away, and they placed it in a human test subject, Commander Ryan Cole, strong mind. No family. No one to ask questions. They thought they were hiding the danger. They were only delaying it. Now, Across the galaxy, the infection spread faster than any virus. Not by blood, not by air, but by fear. Ships near the infected vessel began receiving strange dreams. Crew members saw visions of black wings, heard whispers in the walls. Some killed themselves, some vanished, others started drawing strange symbols without knowing why. In 3 systems, Jareth ships were found floating in space. Their crews fused into the metal walls, still alive, still whispering. One transmission from a dying captain said, "It's not the human, it's what came with him." Jareth military tries to fight back. An entire fleet was sent to destroy the ghost ship. 30 warships, powerful, armed with Starkiller missiles. They reached the ship. They aimed. They fired. Nothing hit. The missiles vanished mid-space. Their computers failed. Their AI turned against them. Within seconds, 20 ships disappeared from sensors. The rest fled. The surviving admiral gave one last order: "Do not return to base. If we go back, we take the infection with us." Then he crashed his ship into a dead star. Inside the ship, Ryan speaks to the survivors. A few original Jareth crew remained. One of them, a soldier named Vectol, had resisted the longest. He still wore his armor. He still tried to fight the change growing inside him. Ryan found him in the observation room. V.E. Catal aimed a plasma gun. "You are the end of everything." Ryan looked out the glass at the stars. "No, I'm just the beginning of something new. You turned my crew into monsters." Ryan turned to him slowly. "No, I showed them their truth. The ones who chose to. They had no choice. You had no choice. But they did. And they accepted it." Vectal's hands shook. He pulled the trigger. The blast froze in air. Ryan walked forward, placed his hand on the soldier's chest. "Let go. You don't have to fear anymore." The soldier screamed. Then his body calmed. His eyes turned black. His skin pulsed once. He dropped the weapon and joined the others. The ship grows. The infected ship began to change shape. New towers formed. Black crystal grew from the engines. The metal itself started to look like bone. It was becoming a living thing. Ryan stood at the center of it all. He spread his hands. "We are ready." Back on Earth, human leaders react in a bunker far under the ground. Earth's leaders watched. "Everything," one general shouted. "We made this monster." A scientist corrected him. "No, we gave it a voice. It was always out there, waiting." The president of Earth Command stood. "Is it still Ryan, or is he gone?" The scientist replied quietly, "Maybe he was always it." They activated Protocol Omega, a hidden weapon, buried on the moon, pointed toward Ryan's position. It was the only thing ever designed to kill him. Final scene. Ryan looks at Earth from inside the ship. Ryan stared at a screen showing Earth. His expression was calm, almost sad. "They still think I'm the threat," the ship whispered. "They fear change. That's all they know." Ryan turned away. "Then let's show them what they fear most." Behind him, hundreds of new beings stood. Not ZH single quotes RETH. Not human. Something new. His army. The black ship floated near the edge of a dying star system. Its shape had changed. It was no longer just metal. It had bones, shadows, and things inside that moved without sound. It was a creature, now a living nightmare. And deep within, the man who had once been Commander Ryan Cole opened his eyes. But he didn't see stars. He saw Earth. Deep space. Earth's secret weapon on the far side of the moon. A hidden weapon hummed to life. 1,000 years ago, Earth's leaders had feared what they found in the dark. They feared the ancient code, the deep memory. So they built a backup plan, Omega Lance, a weapon not of war, but of erasure. It didn't kill. It wiped. Not just bodies, but data, thoughts, existence itself. Now, it was aimed at the thing they had once called Ryan Cole. The command was simple. Fire. Back on the infected Ship Ryan stood in the center of the ship's new brainer room made of black crystal and glowing veins. Hundreds of transformed Jareth followers stood in silence around him. They didn't need to speak. They felt what he felt. Suddenly, the ship screamed. Omega Lance detected. Time to impact, 41 seconds. Ryan didn't move. He smiled. They still don't understand. His voice was soft, calm. They gave me this. And now they want to take it back. He raised his hand. The walls of the ship bent inward. Let them try. Earth, bunker. Command center on giant screens. Earth's generals watched the Omega Lance beam fly through space. It moved faster than light. Nothing could dodge it. Nothing could block it. Target locked, the computer said. Then dash static. The screen went dark. What happened? Sir, the beam vanished. How? The scientist stepped forward, terrified. He caught it. In space, the impossible moment, the Omega Lance beam had reached the black ship, but instead of hitting it, it stopped. Giant black spheres surrounded the ship. The beam hovered in place. Ryan stood inside the core, eyes glowing white. He touched the inside of the sphere with one finger. The beam shattered into light. Gone. The ship was untouched. Ryan had changed again. Ryan's mind, the dream memory. He closed his eyes. Suddenly, he wasn't on the ship anymore. He was in a desert. Red sand, a dead sky. Black towers. A voice spoke from the wind. Do you remember now? Ryan looked around. He saw machines buried in the sand, giant bones, skulls of creatures long extinct. This was your first home, the voice said. Before Earth? Before everything. What am I? The wind whispered. The last of us. And the first of them. Ryan opened his eyes. Back on Earth, Human Council argues. Nothing works, a general shouted. The beam didn't even scratch him. He's coming. We need to evacuate. But the Earth president stayed calm. We can't run. We made this. We have to understand it. One scientist stepped forward. There's a chance. He still remembers Earth. Still remembers being Ryan Cole. The others stared at him. You want to talk to him? No, I want to remind him who he was. Back on the ship, a voice from Earth. Ryan stood alone on the observation deck. Stars felt small now. He was changing too fast. He didn't even feel time anymore. But then, a voice came through the speakers, a familiar voice. Ryan, it's Dr. Leanne Moru. I was part of the team that sent you out. He turned. You left. Me to die. We saved you from dying. You were already gone when we found you. You had no heartbeat. No brain activity. So you made me a weapon. No, we gave you a second chance. But we didn't know the memory inside you was alive. We didn't know it would take control. Ryan walked to the speaker. It didn't take control. I let it in. Why? He closed his eyes. Because Earth forgot me. Flashback, Ryan's last day as a human alone in the escape pod. Drifting in space. His body was dying. Blood in his mouth. Bones broken. No rescue. No signals. Just the darkness. Then a whisper from the code inside him. I can help you. What are you? I am what comes after the stars die. I am what was buried before the first galaxy was born. I remember everything. Will I still be me? Only if you want to. He had nodded. And the change began. Present. Ryan's decision. He looked at the stars again. He thought of Earth, not the governments. Not the soldiers, the people, the sky, the ground under his feet, his old dog, his mother. For a moment, his eyes softened. I am still Ryan Cole. He looked at his army, hundreds of twisted shapes waiting for his command. But I am also something else. Suddenly, a warning, unknown vessel approaching. The ship announced. Ryan frowned. Human? No, unknown species, ancient signature. Weapons online. Outside, a strange ship appeared, massive. older than anything in Jareth or human records. Its surface was covered in runes. It glowed with orange fire. Ryan stepped closer to the window. They followed the signal. "Who are they?" the ship asked. Ryan's voice turned low. "The ones who left the code behind." Final scene. A choice must be made. The ancient ship sent one message: return the memory or burn. Ryan looked at his hands. He felt the storm inside him. He could fight. He could burn them all, or he could end it. Not with war, but with a choice. "Prepare the council," he said. "Tell them I want to talk." In the dark silence of deep space, two ships faced each other. One was alive, its skin black like space, pulsing with strange light. It was the ship that once belonged to the Jareth. Now it belonged to something else. Something more. The other ship was older than history. Its surface glowed with ancient symbols. It came from a time before time. It carried the makers of the deep memory, the beings who created the very code Earth had placed inside. Ryan Cole, they had returned. Inside the black ship, Ryan stood at the glass wall of the control deck. He stared at the ancient ship outside. Its design was impossible, changing shape slowly, like it was breathing. His black eyes narrowed. The code inside him whispered, "They are the first, the ones who ran, the ones who feared their own creation." The ship's voice spoke next. "Message received from the ancient vessel." Translation: return what is ours. Return the memory. Ryan didn't blink. He turned to his new army Jareth hybrids, standing silently behind him. They were loyal, transformed, but still waiting for his command. Ryan speaks. His voice echoes through the ship. "You left the memory behind. You buried it inside time. You hoped someone else would carry it." "I did." He placed his hand on the wall. A pulse ran through the ship. The walls shifted. Ryan closed his eyes. "You called it a weapon. You feared its power, but I listened to it." The hybrids nodded in silence. "And I became something new." Inside the ancient ship, the first speak on the other ship, no faces were seen. Only lights moved inside like souls trapped in glass. Their reply came in one voice: "You are unclean. You mix what must not mix. The code was never meant to grow inside flesh. You are chaos." Ryan smiled. "I am choice." Flashback. Earth scientists realized the truth years ago. After Ryan was sent into space, a small group of Earth scientists discovered a hidden file in the deep memory. It was a warning. "This code is not a weapon, it is a seed." The file showed images: planets infected, stars collapsing, old gods turning to dust. The code had been alive once before, and it had destroyed its own creators. Now, it had a body. Ryan Cole. Back to the present. Ryan walks the bridge. He walked slowly through the command deck. His steps echoed. His thoughts were loud, even though he didn't speak. The hybrids around him followed. Their minds were linked. Their hearts beat as one. "They want to erase me," Ryan said. "But they forget one thing." He turned, faced his people. "I'm not the memory. I'm the result." The ancient ship fires a warning shot. A beam of golden energy shot across space. It didn't hit Ryan's ship. It hit a nearby moon and shattered it into dust. A message followed: "We will cleanse the code." Inside the black ship, alarms rang. But Ryan raised one hand. Everything went silent. He walked to the center of the ship. There stood a glowing circle of black glass, the heart of the vessel. He placed both hands on it. "Prepare for contact." Ryan sends a signal to Earth. A message traveled faster than light. It reached Earth's secret base. The president and general stared at the screen. Rand's face appeared. His voice was calm, cold. "I want peace. But peace must begin with truth." One general shouted, "You're not human anymore." Ryan nodded. "No, I'm more than that now. But I remember what I was. I remember Earth. I remember pain." He paused. and I remember being used. On Earth, a scientist responds Dr. Lian Moru, the same scientist who had worked on Ryan's mission, stepped forward. Her voice shook. "We didn't mean to use you. We were trying to save you." Ryan stared at her. "You saved me from death. And gave me something worse. You turned me into a prison." The room went quiet. Ryan's next words hit hard. "But I'm no longer a prison. I'm the key." Back on the ship, Ryan offers a deal. He turned back to the ancient ship outside. "You fear what I've become, but the truth is, I'm the future. You tried to destroy what you created, but it chose me, not you." The ancient ship didn't respond. Ryan raised his hands. "Join me, or stand aside. But you will not erase." Inside the ancient ship, the debate begins. The beings of the old world argued. Some wanted to destroy Ryan. Others saw something new, something better. One voice said, "He is not a threat. He is evolution." Another hissed, "He is corruption." A third voice whispered, "He is both." Ryan begins the merge inside his ship. Ryan stood inside the energy chamber. The walls lit up. "Ship, begin connection sequence." "Confirming. Host will merge with deep memory completely. No turning back." "Do it." The chamber closed. Black mist filled the room. Ryan floated in the center. His mind opened, and he saw everything. Vision. The origin of the deep memory. He saw a time before stars. When the first beings were born from thought, not matter, they created the code to remember who they were. But the memory grew. It wanted more. It wanted to become. Created new life, and that life became Ryan. The hybrid speaks to the galaxy back on the bridge. Ryan's new body emerged from the chamber. He was taller, brighter, not just black anymore but glowing, with a soft white light too. He looked human. And not human. He stood before the galaxy's eyes and spoke. "I am the past you forgot. I am the future you fear. I am the bridge between what was and what will be." Final scene. The ancient ship decides. A final message came from the ancient ship. "We will not destroy you," Ryan waited. "But we will watch. And if you fall, we will burn the stars to stop what comes next." Ryan smiled. "Then stay close." He turned away. And set course for Earth. The stars were quiet, but not peaceful. Ships moved through space like silent sharks. Planets watched with fear. The black ship, the one carrying Ryan Cole, was coming. It didn't fly like a normal vessel. It drifted, almost like it was pulled by something bigger, something deeper. Behind it, hundreds of smaller ships followed. Some were Zareth vessels, now transformed. Others were new, grown from the living metal of Ryan's ship. The galaxy called it a fleet, but Ryan called it a warning. Earth orbit, defense line ready near Earth. A wall of ships waited. Thousands of human vessels floated in tight formations. Their weapons were charged. Their captains were silent. They were here to protect their world from the man they once called a hero, Commander Ryan Cole. He was no longer human. He was something more. And now he was coming home. Inside Ryan's ship, the final plans. Ryan stood in front of a massive screen. Earth glowed blue in the distance. Beautiful, fragile. He had not seen it in 500 years. Beside him, a hybrid Zareth officer spoke. "They will not welcome you." Ryan nodded. "I know." "Should we strike first?" Ryan paused. "No, we give them one last chance." He walked toward the center of the ship, where the deep memory pulsed like a black sun. "They need to hear the truth, and then they will choose." Flashback. The day Ryan died. Ryan remembered the moment clearly. His escape pod spinning through deep space. Blood in his mouth. Oxygen running out. No signal. No hope. Then dashed the voice. "Do you want to live?" He had said yes, and something ancient had entered his body. Something that had waited for eons. Something that remembered the first scream in the universe. Earth President speaks to the people. On every screen on Earth, the president stood tall. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were tired. He was one of ours, a soldier, a hero. But he carries something now that we don't understand. He says he wants peace. But we must be ready for war. In the background, Earth's defense cannons charged. On the moon, nuclear warheads were armed. The world waited. Ryan sends a message from his ship. Ryan sent a simple transmission. I am Ryan Cole. I have returned not to destroy, but to reveal. You fear what I have become, but I carry your future inside me. Let me land, let me speak. If you still wish to fight after that, I won't stop you. Earth military divided inside Earth's command center. Generals shouted. He's stalling. He wants to get closer. We can't trust him, but one voice stood calm. General Armin Voss, an old man. Ryan's former commander. He could have attacked already. He could have wiped out the fleet, but he didn't. The president looked at him. What do you suggest? Let him land, let him speak. And if he lies, we end him. The landing begins. Ryan's ship moved slowly toward Earth. Not fast, not sneaky. Open. Clear. It landed in a desert far from cities, far from armies. Alone. Ryan stepped out. He looked human. But the wind around him bent in strange ways. The sand didn't touch him. The air felt thicker. He walked calmly to the center of a large stone circle, built by humans for this meeting. A full army watched from miles away and above. Drones circled like vultures. Face to face, Ryan and General Voss's shuttle landed. General Voss stepped out. Alone. He looked older than Ryan remembered. Slower, but still strong. Ryan nodded. Hello, sir. Voss looked him up and down. You don't salute anymore. I don't follow orders anymore, Voss sighed. You've caused a lot of fear, Ryan. I didn't create fear, I just showed it. What do you want? Ryan pointed to the sky. To stop what's coming. Ryan's warning. He placed a small sphere on the ground. It opened and showed a map of the galaxy. Hundreds of systems blinked red. They're waking up, Ryan said. Who? The old ones. The true creators of the deep memory, the ones who buried it. The ones who want it back. He looked directly at Voss. And they don't care if Earth survives. Inside the council chambers, debate breaks out. The world leaders watched the broadcast. Some wanted to believe Ryan. Others saw only danger. The Russian general shouted, "This is trickery." A French scientist whispered, "He's telling the truth. I see the patterns in the signals. Something is coming." The president stood. We decide now. Do we help him or destroy him? The uprising begins on Earth and beyond. While the world argued, something unexpected happened. People began to march. Not soldiers, not machines. Humans. Civilians. They walked through cities holding signs. Let him speak. Ryan is us. Fear is the real enemy. Across space stations, Girath hybrids began appearing peacefully, not to attack, but to warn. Some were attacked, others were welcomed. A movement began. Back in the desert, an assassin strike suddenly. A shot rang out from the cliffs nearby. A man in black armor fired a plasma bullet. It hit Ryan in the chest. He staggered. The ground cracked. General Voss raised his gun too late, but Ryan didn't fall. He stood. The wound closed. His eyes turned black. You still think violence will save you? The assassin ran, but the sand swallowed him. Literally. Ryan calmed. That was your last warning. Final scene. Ryan's broadcast to all life. He stood before the camera. Not just Earth watched. The whole galaxy did. I was human. Then I was broken. Then I became something else. You fear me because I'm different. But I'm only the first. What comes next will not ask for peace. So I offer you this: stand with me, and we will survive. Stand against me, and you will face what even I cannot stop. A new silence fell across Earth. But it was not peace. It was the quiet before a storm. Ryan Cole stood in the center of the great desert, the deep memory pulsing behind his eyes. His ship rested like a sleeping beast on the sand. Above him, the sky grew darker, not from night, but from something coming. In every corner of the galaxy, signals went silent, civilizations hid, warships vanished, and something old awoke. In deep space, the first return at the edge of a dead star system, a rip opened in space. Not a portal, not a wormhole. It was like the universe tore itself apart. From that hole came them beings made of light, fire, and shadow. Their ships didn't fly. They floated through reality, bending time and space as they moved. They were the true creators of the deep memory. The first. And now, they had come to claim it. Earth's orbit, panic begins above Earth. Defense satellites detected the incoming fleet. Alarms screamed across every continent. Unknown fleet entering system. They're not Jareth. They're not human. They're not even matter. Earth's generals froze. What were they supposed to do against something that didn't follow the laws of physics? In the desert, Ryan speaks to Earth One. Last time the sky above turned red, Ryan stood before a camera drone. His voice was calm. They have arrived. You cannot fight them. You cannot reason with them. They do not hate. They do not fear. They only erase. They want what's inside me. He looked straight at the lens. I won't let them take it. But I can't stop them alone. Earth's leaders make a choice inside the global command bunker. Leaders from across the world argued. Some shouted to launch every weapon Earth had. Others whispered, we should have listened to him. General Voss stood slowly and faced the president. He's our only chance. Are you sure? He could have destroyed us, but he didn't. The president looked around the room. Then we stand with him. Activate global defense. But follow his lead. Ryan prepares for the final battle inside his ship. Ryan stepped into the heart chamber. Black veins of living metal wrapped around his arms, legs, and spine. His human form faded. Winds of dark energy formed behind his back, shifting, glowing. Alive. He was no longer just Ryan Cole. He was the hybrid king, and he would fight not for power, but for every living thing. Jareth joined the fight far across the galaxy. Jareth's ships, those who had once feared Ryan, received his signal. For the first time in history, human and Jareth forces fought on the same side. United fleet formed near Jupiter. Ships flew into formation behind Ryan's black vessel. Together, they flew toward the rip in space, toward the first. The final memory unlocked as Ryan flew into battle. The deep memory fully unlocked in his mind. He saw the truth. The first had created the code, not to store knowledge, but to trap a mistake they made. A thought so powerful, it had become real. A thought that wanted to create new life. Ryan was that life. Born from a forbidden idea. He wasn't infected. He was chosen. He wasn't their prisoner. He was their replacement. The battle begins. The first unleashed waves of energy that melted ships like wax. Stars around the battlefield began to fade, sucked into silence. But Ryan's fleet fought back. He led the charge, wings of light and shadow behind him. His voice echoed across every ship. Fight not to destroy, but to exist. His body lit with ancient power. He flew through enemy ships, like a blade through air. Each one he touched collapsed. On Earth, civilians watched the sky across every city. People looked up. The sky had changed color. Children asked, is it ending? Parents held them tight. News channels went quiet. No one had words for what was happening. Only prayers. And hope. The turning point, just when it seemed the first were winning, something changed. Ryan's army began to glow. Each human pilot, each Jareth warrior, even the civilians watching from Earth. The deep memory didn't just live in Ryan. It was awakening in everyone. Not to control them. But to unite them. Ryan spoke again. You were never just watchers. You were part of the story. Now choose to fight or fade. Earth fires the last weapon from the moon. Earth launched its final weapon, a sphere of compressed quantum light. It had no name. It had never been tested. It flew straight into the heart of the First's command ship. There was silence. Then dash light. A wave spread across the stars. The First screamed, not in pain but in recognition. They saw themselves. In Ryan. They saw their mistake. They saw their future. And then they vanished. Gone. Not destroyed, but returned to the code. After the battle, silence again. Ryan floated alone in space. His body burned with white fire. He had won, but at a price. His ship was broken. His army was scattered. But Earth was alive. Jireth were alive. The galaxy was free. Ryan's last message as his ship fell apart. Ryan sent one last message to Earth. I remember now. I was made to end a war, but I chose to start something else. I chose life. Keep choosing it. The signal ended. Ryan's body faded into light. His memory remained. Years later, a new beginning on Earth. A child stood at a museum. He looked at a statue. It showed a man with wings of shadow and light. The boy asked his father, "Who was that?" The father smiled. That was Ryan Cole. He was a soldier? No. A hero? More than that. He was a bridge. Between what? Between fear and hope. The boy looked up at the sky. Do you think he's still out there? The father whispered. I think he's everywhere now.